Made famous by Discovery Channel Street Outlaw series, there was a moment in time when no prep drag racing was the biggest thing going in the sport. Inspired by the Street Outlaw series, some time ago, using the great physics sandbox that we get with BeamNG.drive, I created an entire class and eventually a full fleet of cars within the game that very much captured the spirit of that. Originally tuned to race on high grip prep racetracks, however, I would eventually rework several of those cars to be able to run on the much less grippy streets found throughout the rest of the game. In the process, I learned a fair bit, including the fact that an eighth of a mile is too short of a distance to fully appreciate what these cars are capable of. Sometime later, I would bring them back out for some quarter-mile passes using the section of the road course that runs alongside the West Coast USA drag strip. Today, thanks to the BeamNG map editor, I'm going to do one better. I've taken my completely rebuilt Alder drag strip and unprepped the entire racing surface in each lane from start to finish, and I'll be bringing you the quickest 15 no prep quarter-mile racing cars that I've been able to build to date. All of the cars on this list are built following a few simple rules. They must have full bodies and roll cage if available, a driver's seat, any engine type with one form of boost only, blower, turbo, nitrous, or centrifugal supercharger, and to keep things even, each run on identical 31 by 12 inch Alder Drag Pro racing slicks. These cars are quick, they're fast, and they're a lot of fun to drive. If you want to give them a try for yourself, you can. Just check out the community section here on the channel, where following this video, I'll be uploading and posting the config files and everything you need to know for a new car each day over the next couple of weeks. With all of that out of the way, let's get right into it with car number 15 on the list. This is a nitrous-assisted Bruckell Bastion, one of my newer builds. It was the first and currently only nitrous car on the channel to have run in the 550s with a 5.598 second, 268 mile/hour run here on the prep version of Alder drag strip a couple months ago. With there being no way to properly ramp in a huge boost of power from the nitrous, this car was a chore just to get down the racetrack cleanly. The nitrous-assisted Bruckell Bastion gets things started off with a 6.380 at 239 miles/hour. If I could make this thing get through the gears a little smoother, it would probably be a lot higher on this list, but for now, it's number 15. Number 14 is this supercharged Burnside Special, known here on the channel as Porky. This car has a long history on the channel, with this and all of the Burnsides having gained a reputation for being notoriously difficult to drive. This car has been set up and run on an unprepped surface already, having laid down a rather sketchy 6.616 second pass here on the road course at the regular version of the West Coast Racing Complex. I have been able to make it considerably more drivable since, so here today, there's almost a 50-50 chance of making a clean run. With this car, I'll take those odds. The Burnside Special lays down a respectable 6.322 second, 231 mile/hour pass, and as icing on that cake, thanks to the extra space I built into this racetrack, I'm even able to bring it to a stop completely without incident. If you followed along on this channel, you know that hasn't happened with a Burnside in a long time. Maybe painting it pink again was good luck. Number 13 on this list is the nitrous-assisted Gavril Barstow. This will be the first appearance for this car in more than a year on the channel, having run a best of 5.831 at 267 miles/hour last time out on the prep surface of the West Coast Strip. The only Outlaw cars I had built prior to this for street or no prep racing used the supercharged funny car engines from the Mio's funny car engine mod, so a lot of the cars on the list here today have yet to been run on anything but grippy racetracks. nitrous-assisted Gavril Barstow lays down a 6.200 second 240 mile/hour pass here in its no-prep debut. That eclipses the 6.230 quarter-mile no-prep channel record previously held by the ETK K-Series, which we've yet to see here today. With 12 more cars to go, that record's going to fall 12 more times before we're done. Number 12 here on the list today is this twin-turbo Gavril Grand Marshal. Here at Alder Drag Strip just a month or so ago, this car ran a 5.537 at 277 miles per hour to become the 6th quickest turbo entry on the channel. Since it's not supercharged, I've yet to run this on an unprepped surface like we have here today. Twin-turbo Gavril Grand Marshal makes a clean hit running a 6.175 at 254 miles per hour in its no-prep debut. This is a fun car to drive. The number 11 car on the list here today is a bit of a surprise. This is a supercharged version of the usually badass Bruckell Moonhawk. This car was the second quickest quarter-mile no-prep car here on the channel prior to this episode, having run a 6.294 on the West Coast road course here several months ago. That it's not even in the top 10 here today is what's surprising. Nevertheless, this is still a pretty decent race car that makes it down just about any type of track just about every time. As a class, the competition here is pretty tight. Running this all over again with the same cars on the same track could easily produce a very different order of rank. The supercharged Bruckell Moonhawk lays down a 6.151 at 250 miles per hour here today. You gotta drive it a bit, but it gets the job done. The number 10 quickest quarter-mile no-prep car here today is the twin-turbo Gavril Barstow that I once nicknamed Brining. Brining hasn't been used much here on the channel lately, and it's never been run in no-prep trim prior to this episode. I did manage to dust the cobwebs out of the seat recently though, when I drove it to the third quickest pass by a turbo combination on the channel to date with a 5.477 276 mile per hour pass on a grippy version of Alder Drag Strip. The Barstows are good cars for the most part, and this one shows some promise. Making a nice pass, Barney runs a 6.139 at 245 miles per hour. You can see by the black tracks behind the cars that these things are never really fully hooked up. Managing to drive through that is a trick in putting up some decent numbers. Our number 9 car here today is a huge surprise for me, and in fact isn't a car at all. This is a supercharged D-Series pickup. And just about every video on this channel which the D-Series was a part, it's almost always been at or near the bottom of whatever list you'll find it on. I have run the D-Series in no prep trim a couple times before, and the last time out it started to show some promise, running 7th quickest out of 9 vehicles in a quarter mile at a 6.543 on the West Coast road course. That pass, however, wouldn't be in the same league with what I've been able to do with it since and what we're about to see. Supercharged Gavril D-Series lays down a very respectable 6.134 second pass at just over 250 miles per hour, putting it right in the mix with the rest of the class rather than just a novel entry to an episode. I'm very happy with that. It took some driving to keep it from crossing the center line, but that's what makes it a lot of fun. You never know what to expect. Number 8 on the list is the first and only Pro Charge entry we're going to see today. This is the Bruckell Moonhawk. It's been some time since I've run Pro Charged Outlaws here on the channel, and never in no prep trim. On a prep surface, while I've yet to show it to you, this is the quickest full body door slammer on this channel, period. The last time we did see it on the channel, it put up a 5.574 at 271 miles per hour on the regular version of the West Coast Strip. It's gone much quicker since, but that's on a sticky racetrack. I'm still dialing it in for this no prep stuff. Once I do, I'll likely set to work on some more of these Pro Charged cars. The Pro Charged Bruckell Moonhawk runs a 6.126 at 247 miles per hour. Lucky number 7 on the list belongs to the supercharged Gavril Grand Marshal. This is a car that has been around for a while, and is usually pretty good. In no prep trim, it was the 3rd quickest car in the quarter mile prior to this episode, with a 6.296 best on the West Coast road course. Like the twin turbo version, keeping the nose down and the car pointed straight is the biggest challenge. Supercharged Grand Marshal runs a 6.117 at 247 miles per hour. One thing I always love about driving the Grand Marshals is those mid-track power wheelies. Good stuff. Number 6 car here today is another surprise. This is the twin turbo Hirochi Sunburst, one of the newer builds on this channel. I really enjoyed working with this car. Running an inline 4-cylinder engine rather than a big V8 means none of that chassis twisting force that makes the rest of the car such a handful at times. On a sticky racetrack, it is a bit off the pace of most of the rest of the Outlaw builds on the channel so far, with a best of just 5.762 at 260 miles per hour here at Alder drag strip. On this unprepped surface, it's considerably more competitive. Straight down the middle, the twin-turbo Hirochi Sunburst lays down a great 6.116 251 mile per hour pass. That was nice. that brings us to the top 5, and at number 5 is this twin turbocharged Bruckell Moonhawk. Sporting a new paint job and making its no prep debut on the channel, the twin turbo Moonhawk is plenty capable of putting up some great numbers on any surface. On Twin Turbo Night a month or so ago here on a prep version of my Alder drag strip, it laid down the 4th quickest pass of the night, running a 5.495 at 258 miles per hour. Here on an unprepped track, it's equally as competitive, although obviously not quite as quick. The twin turbo Bruckell Moonhawk runs a 6.103 at 250 miles per hour. Driving these cars on this track can be best described as a quarter-mile straight-line drift. You really need to finesse some of these cars to keep them between the lines. Number 4 here today is this supercharged Bruckell Bastion. Another of the OG Outlaws on the channel. Last time out in no prep trim, the Bastion was 5th quickest of the episode in a quarter mile on the West Coast road course. Adapting the Bastions for no prep unfortunately meant the addition of the ugly wings you'll see them sporting here today. They go some way towards making these things drivable down track. Supercharged Bruckell Bastion first in the O's with a 6.085 at 255 miles per hour and change. While those mid-track wheelies are a blast, if you're not pointing straight when it comes up, you can easily get into trouble sometimes. Moving on to the top 3, at number 3 is our 3rd Bruckell Bastion of the episode. This is the twin turbocharged version. Making its no prep debut, I'm a little surprised that it's the quickest of the Bastions in this episode, although I probably shouldn't be. On a sticky prep racetrack, this car has the official Shifts&Giggles record as the quickest full body car on the channel after laying down a 5.443 second, 282 mile per hour blast right here on my version of the Alder drag strip just over a month ago. Given some more time, this car may have been number 1 here today. The twin turbocharged Bruckell Bastion runs a 6.067 at 254 miles per hour. This car gets off the line softer than most of the other cars here today, at least the first few feet. From there, it usually stays hooked up as anything else, and as a result, it's one of the quickest cars here. Number 2 car on our list here today is a supercharged ETK K-Series. The only car on this list not able to run a fully adjustable torque converter to fully get its power to the racetrack, on a sticky surface, the K-Series is at a bit of a disadvantage. On less grippy unprepped surfaces, that may actually become an advantage. In its no prep debut on the East Coast, the K-Series went anything but straight and never showed its true potential. On the West Coast road course, it was the quickest car of the episode, in both the 8th mile and quarter mile, running a 4.303 and a 6.230 respectively. Here today, it'll come up just one spot short of repeating that. Supercharged ETK K-Series runs a 6.041 at 253 miles per hour. Not a lot more to say about that one. This car is easy to drive and damn good when the grip is low. That brings us to the new quickest and fastest quarter-mile no-prep car on this channel to date. And it's a supercharged Gavril Barstow. Not entirely a surprise. The Barstow has at least shown half of the potential to do this, as it was just 0.03 of a second slower than the former no-prep channel record holding K-Series to the 8th mile at 4.306 on the West Coast road course. In the quarter mile, however, it was only capable of a 6.346, which was only good enough for number 6 at the time. To say that it's really come around since then is an understatement. Supercharged Gavril Barstow becomes the first no-prep car here on the channel to bust into the 5-second zone, laying down an impressive 5.934 258 mph blast here to end the day. That's even a little impressive to watch. It was about as hooked as you could ask for early, and it just powers through nicely all the way to the finish line. That wraps things up here today. I've had a lot of fun with these cars. I hope you do as well. Don't forget to watch the community section for download links to each over the coming days. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, keep it in your own damn lane.